You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
I keep swinging for the fences. It's like this heart is defenseless against a passion that's pumping through my veins. Blood, sweat.
Hello, America. Good evening. This is Rick Robinson. We're live right now on KLRradio.com. We are about 60 seconds away from the beginning of the America Off the Rails show. It's going to be a short week for us this week. Sorry, we had some technical issues Monday night, and then I wasn't feeling well. Actually, technical issues plus a puppy that was having a bad night, and I'm a softie for the new puppy. So, and then also last night had a migraine. So we're going to do 3 shows this week instead of the usual 4. We're going to do an extra late night edition on Friday night. So make sure you guys either catch that live or during one of the replay sessions that happen all over the place. We're going to go ahead and get things started here in just a minute. We're going to, of course, lead off with some interesting stories. So, remember when the news was talking about arming teachers with rocks? So there's another school district that did something just about as crazy. We're only going to open the show with that. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the Zucker Nerd 9000. The AI bot that's been sitting at Congress for the last few days, and the fact that he seems to not have any real answers. Funny thing is, you listen to the left, and they seem to think that he's like some sort of a hero who made Congress look silly. I don't think they're watching the same video I've been watching. All right, we'll be right back to officially start the show. Don't go away.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite host.
You know this freedom is anything but free. What we have here depends on those who will fight for what they believe. When we stand together, there's nothing that we can't achieve. This nation of people standing as one in the name of liberty.
Hello, America. Welcome to the program. I am Rick Robinson. How's everybody doing this week? I know it's kind of weird for me to be opening the show like that on a Wednesday, but it is Wednesday. It is, if you're listening live, it's November the 11th. If you're listening elsewhere, you'll probably hear this, depending on where you listen, sometime between probably Thursday and Sunday. But the show is available on lots of different places, so we'll kind of go over that later in the show for those that may be tuning in for the first time. Also went back and looked at some of the archives. You guys have been catching some shows lately that have been getting some really good traction. So for those of you that may be joining us for the first time, thank you very much for taking time to hang out with us. I hope you guys enjoy the show. If you like the show, tell your friends. If you have questions, comments, concerns about the show, you can always follow along with me on Twitter at AOTR. Actually, that was my old one, sorry. At Radio Host Rick. And you can also shoot me an email at rick@klrnradio.com. Yeah, I changed my Twitter handle a few months ago because I kind of got a part-time as-needed gig with a local radio station, so kind of, sort of. I'm on call. They don't call very often. It makes me kind of sad, but I am technically on call, so there's that. It's kind of one of those things where it's kind of like when you're in the minor leagues and you're just waiting for that second to get called up. But so anyway, so we've got lots of stuff we're going to talk about tonight, and actually... We're actually just about hit the time where we're supposed to take the first break, so we're probably going to extend that for just a second. Because I do have to talk about one thing real quick, and I only really want to give it about a minute or so, because there's so many other things that I want to talk about. So there is a school district, and to make sure they don't get made fun of too terribly, I'm not going to mention where it is, because I'm sure you guys have probably heard about this by now. But there is a school district that has decided they're going to arm their teachers with bats. So we don't want teachers carrying sidearms, even the ones that have had the training and want to do so willingly. We can't let that happen, but we're going to give them bats. And I'm not talking full-size, big, scary, Louisville Slugger type wooden bats, or even the big full-length aluminum bats. We're talking like the little wannabe kind of billy club kind of bats. So we don't want the teachers to have guns, but we are going to arm them, but we're going to arm them with something where they have to be within 6 inches to be able to use it. Sounds like a great plan. So yeah, yet another great idea from the left, because we don't want anybody having access to firearms. Now they're banning knives in Britain, by the way. For those of you who, because we always talk about, like there was actually a stabbing incident in a public school in Pennsylvania. Nobody's talking about it. There were like 13 kids wounded, I think. Nobody's talking about it, though, because it's not guns. So we always talk about, on this show, it's not about the implement that's used to commit the murder. It's about the act of murder, or the act of causing physical harm to someone, even if you're not killing them. The fact that you are going out of your way to cause physical harm to other people, that's the thing that we should be talking about. But we're not, because we're too busy talking about guns. And now in Britain, they're banning knives. The mayor of London has actually been reported as to say that knives are not necessary anywhere at any time, and anyone caught carrying one will face the full might of British law. So how about, just thinking, what, so they're going to put their steaks in blenders now and serve them as smoothies when they go to restaurants, or what? Does that mean you can't have knives in your home at all anymore? Because, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like a steak once in a while. You kind of need a knife to eat one of those. Heck, even if you like pork steak, you gotta kind of have a knife to eat one of those. So I'm just, I'm not sure they've thought this through. All right, so, we've made fun of the school districts for the bats. We've talked a little bit about the knifing incident that nobody's talking about, and the fact that London's gotten even more crazy than it was 30 seconds ago, which seemed almost impossible. So what do you say we take the very first break, and then we'll actually change gears a bit. I have some audio from the Zucker Nerd trial. Well, I guess it's not really a trial, more like the Zucker Nerd Inquisition. See, the thing that irritates me about this stuff is, first of all, we brought it on ourselves, because we're the ones that opted to do and use which actually, once I figured out some of the things that were going on, I've actually officially pulled Facebook off my phone. I'll leave it on my computer. It's still on my tablet, but I'm not putting it on anything that is constantly connected to a network that leaves my home, because I don't want them knowing where I am every second of every day, because no matter what they tell you, they have backdoor ways to turn that stuff back on. I even had somebody today post a thing that says, well, on newer Android phones, you can go into your sub-settings and disable all that stuff. But you're giving them complete access to your phone. So how do you know they're not turning stuff back on? All right, so I'm talking too much. We're going to take a break. Stay tuned.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where we can meet. You bring your sticks, I'll
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
In no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where we can meet. You bring your sticks, I'll bring gauges.
All right, folks, welcome back. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We are live right now on KLRNradio.com, where we do this thing typically every Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern. That's right. For those of you that may be catching up, we actually have gone back to the late time slot. I really enjoyed the early time slot because it was giving me the opportunity to bring guests on and a few other things. But considering the fact that I still have to do a full-time day job on top of everything else that I'm doing, there were too many times that I was cutting it way too close to be able to do a live show. And after doing this for many years, I can ad-lib with the best of them, but I just kind of felt like the show quality was suffering. So that's another reason why we've gone back to this later time slot. Also, it's because we have some other projects that we're going to start working on here and there. So it's going to hopefully free up some time for me to start making sure those things happen. Note to self who is on live radio, make sure you turn off your notifications before you go on live radio. All right, so anyway, so let's talk about Facebook a little bit, shall we? So everybody's up in arms about all these different things. I gotta tell you, the biggest thing that I was concerned about, it wasn't necessarily even what Facebook was doing. It was what Facebook was doing in partnership with Google. So if you have an Android phone, they have, based on the agreements that you've, based on the end user agreements that you've acknowledged, that you say were okay, between Google and Facebook, you now, basically, they have access to anything that's ever on your phone. If you have the app on your phone. And for anybody that tells you that you can go in and there's these nice little panels where you can disable these individual things, I don't trust that. I used to do IT work for a living. I also was a private security officer, standing private investigator, and did all kinds of work standing behind a badge carrying a gun. And I don't... maybe I'm just paranoid because it's the background that I come from, but when somebody tells me that we're finding out that they have complete access to every text message you've ever sent that's on your phone, I have a problem with that. Not because I'm doing anything that I shouldn't be doing, because, I'm old. Nobody wants to see that, but, just because, it's my privacy. So we have this thing called the Fourth Amendment. Now, granted, here's where we kind of run into a problem. Because this is something that people don't seem to understand. And I know this coming from a public sector job to a private sector job doing security. When you are a representative of a government or a person that, say, for example, is a commissioned peace officer, and you have this little thing on your badge. Most states, for commissioned peace officers, they typically have their state seal in the center of the badge. So that means while you are wearing that badge, carrying that badge, whether you are on duty or off duty, you are technically an extension of the state, which means, therefore, you have no choice but to make sure that you protect people's Fourth Amendment rights and right to privacy, unreasonable searches and seizures, blah, 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 blah. But the interesting thing is, and nobody really thinks this through very well, is private citizens and corporations are not held to the same standard. Remember, the Bill of Rights tells you what the government can't do. It doesn't say anything about what private citizens can't do. I know this because I've gone through this, because there's actually been more than once that I actually had to testify during an arrest of some kind that I was involved in, even while I was doing private security work, because as someone who wasn't a representative of a state agency, I actually could testify to things that I had found while doing pat-downs and reasonable searches that even police officers couldn't necessarily say that they had found because, again, they have to abide by Fourth Amendment protections. I don't. As a private citizen. That doesn't mean that you can't break the law as a private citizen. It just means that the Constitution doesn't necessarily afford you the same protections from your government as it or from your fellow private citizens as it does from your government. So I have a question about this whole Zucker nerd situation. And when we come back from the next break, we're actually going to play some of the audio so we can point, laugh, and talk about how he should, if they ever decide to redo the next generation, he should be the next Data if he's still young enough. But that being said, who do you trust? I don't trust the government anymore any further than I can throw them. So as much as I like the fact that they're kind of raking Zuckernerd over the coals because he annoys me with his censorship crap that he pulls, I don't trust them regulating what Facebook can and can't do either. But we'll talk about that more when we come back. We've got to take another break. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. Back before you know it.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
folks, welcome back. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. All right, so let's start off with the stuff from the kiddie pool side of it, shall we? So we've got some audio from the Zucker Nerd trials, or Zucker Nerd Senate hearings. I call it trials. I know I shouldn't, but it's what it reminds me of. So let's hear this first one, shall we? Give me just a moment to get it queued up here.
Facebook is an idealistic and optimistic company. For most of our existence, we focused on all of the good that connecting people can do. And as Facebook has grown, people everywhere have gotten a powerful new tool for staying connected to the people they love, for making their voices heard, and for building communities and businesses. Just recently, we've seen the Me Too movement and the March for Our Lives organized, at least in part, on Facebook. After Hurricane Harvey, people came together to raise more than $20 million for relief. And more than 70 million small businesses use Facebook to create jobs and grow. But it's clear now that we didn't do enough to prevent these tools from being used for harm as well. And that goes for fake news, for foreign interference in elections, and hate speech, as well as developers and data privacy. We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
So it throws a lot at us in that first minute. So let's kind of take it kind of piece by piece here. So we didn't take into account enough of what our responsibility should be. So he talks about things like fake news. But I have a question. Who are they to determine what fake news either is or is not? I thought Facebook was supposed to be a neutral forum where people could come on and exchange ideas. No matter how quirky the idea, no matter how dumb the idea, no matter how outlandish the idea, is it Facebook's job to censor people? Shouldn't that be up to the individual people that are supposed to have access and control over their own pages to monitor them and to censor them as they see fit? Isn't Facebook supposed to be neutral? So let's hear Zucker Nerd's response to that particular question.
Mr. Zuckerberg, does Facebook consider itself a neutral public forum?
Senator, we consider ourselves to be a platform for all ideas.
Let me ask the question again. Does Facebook consider itself to be a neutral public forum? And representatives of your company have given conflicting answers on this. Are you a First Amendment speaker expressing your views, or are you a neutral public forum allowing everyone to speak?
Senator, here's how we think about this. I don't believe that there is certain content that clearly we do not allow, right? Hate speech, terrorist content, nudity, anything that makes people feel unsafe in the community. From that perspective, that's why we generally try to refer to what we do as a platform for all ideas.
So I have a question. And he doesn't ever really answer the question. But what exactly is hate speech? Because that's one of those made-up terms. Those politically correct terms. It's like, oh, because you're using this particular word, you're indicating that you hate this particular group of people. Or you're saying something that's negative, so that's hate speech. Or you're saying something that's hurtful, so that's hate speech. There is no such animal as hate speech. Not as far as the First Amendment is concerned. That is my biggest problem. And yes, I understand because I already hear people shrieking, but Brick, Facebook's a public company. They can run their company however they see fit. It's up to them who they allow to use their platform. But what happens when we start to see things that are spinning completely out of control and one side's being more censored than the other? Because I have a question. Because they're talking about fake news. Are you guys aware that the largest Black Lives Matter page on Facebook was a fake Black Lives Matter page run by a white gentleman from Australia who took hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations in the name of Black Lives Matter, but they want to talk to me about fake news and how they should be controlling what people see, post, and hear? I have a problem with that. I have a huge problem with that because they can't do it. Not well enough. So my question is, and one of the concerns that I keep hearing from most of America is the concern that Facebook is involved and engaged in biased political censorship. So let's see what Mr. Zucker Nerd had to say about that.
Well, Mr. Zuckerberg, I will say there are a great many Americans who I think are deeply concerned that Facebook and other tech companies are engaged in a pervasive pattern of bias and political censorship.
Oh, I guess that was Cruz actually saying that. Sorry, I thought that was Zucker Nerd answering the question. So there is another question here that actually is a response from Zuckerberg, or Zucker Nerd, or T9000 Zuckerborg, whatever you want to call him. Are you more responsible with America's personal information than the federal government would be?
Do you believe you're more responsible with millions of Americans' personal data than the federal government would be?
Yes.
No, but I don't want the federal government having it either. I understand that they have to have it. They're going to have it. There's no way around that because they're the government. But I don't want Facebook policing my personal information. I really, honestly, for the most part, don't want the federal government policing my personal information. I understand that, to balance freedom and security, we kind of have to give up a little bit of each. But I'm done giving those things up. One way or the other. I am personally responsible for how I protect myself. It is not a requirement of the government to protect me. It is not a requirement of Facebook to protect me either. If I want to use your service, then I will use your service. What I do wish is that your end user agreement would have explained in greater detail what it meant when you said that this app will have access to your camera, this app will have access to your phone directory, this app will have access to your text messages. What you didn't tell me was you were going to be able to access my camera to see things that are going on. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, please, if you haven't yet, I encourage you to start using, if you still have Facebook on your phone, which why for the love of God would you? But if you still have Facebook on your phone, fire up a Facebook live stream. Make sure that someone that you know is in the picture with you or able to be brought into the frame. And watch it ask you if you want to tag that person. Without you even mentioning that it's there, Facebook is able to access your camera, use recognition information to find out that is someone that you know, and ask if you want to tag them in the fact that they are in a live stream feed with you. Now, tell me that is not disconcerting. And tell me that Zucker Nerd is going to be more careful with our public information than the federal government is when they are busily selling off that information. You want to know the main reason why I'm mad at Facebook and the main reason why I don't have that app on my phone anymore? It's not because I have anything to hide. It's not really that I care that they have access to my public information, because I knew what was happening every time I clicked on one of those stupid quizzes. But they're fun. It's just a little distraction for like 30 seconds. It spins and spins and spins, and all of a sudden it says, oh, look, you're like this, or blah, 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 blah. Or, hey, you were this person in a past life. Okay, so it's a little 30-second distraction. I knew what I was giving up. But you know what upsets me? Is I have been working my tail end off for over a decade to monetize and actually start trying to do some of this stuff professionally, and have gotten to the point where I'm almost there, but Facebook is selling my information and making a profit from it, while I'm trying to find a way to do the same thing on my own. I don't think I would necessarily be as afraid of the fact that Facebook is selling off my information if they were asking me if they could sell off my information and allowing me to have a cut. That's capitalism. If I want you to have my information, you should ask me if you can have it. And then if I tell you can have it, you should say, hey, I intend on selling this information for a profit. But if you agree to this, we will give you X amount of that profit. Now, I get for each individual person, it's probably pennies, but it's the principle of the matter. I mean, let's get real. You are basically giving them the right to sell your information because you've clicked on an end user agreement on an app. I have a problem with that. I understand it's my problem. I'm not blaming Zucker Nerd. I think some of the stuff that he's done is really, really kind of creepy, and I honestly think he is artificial intelligence. Have you seen some of those videos? Dude's eyes, I mean, there's nothing there. It's a blank stare. All right, we're past the bottom of the hour. Actually, well past the bottom of the hour because we got a late start anyway. We'll be right back. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. Back and forth.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where we can meet. You bring your sticks, I'll bring gauges.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Welcome back, folks. So at the beginning of the show, and welcome back, by the way, this is America Off the Rails, in case you're just joining us. We've been talking about Mark Zuckerberg. Actually, for those of you who can't see it, just because I'm kind of proud of it, the title of tonight's show is Zucks. Facebook did it again. All right, so anyway, we have been talking mostly about Facebook and the craziness that is going on with the Senate hearings and everything else. So I have a question, because remember we had talked about this earlier, or at least I did, about Americans' expectation of a right to privacy. So let's hear what Mr. Zucker Nerd had to say about America's expectation to a right of privacy.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Zuckerberg, would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
No.
If you've messaged anybody this week, would you share with us the names of the people you've messaged?
Senator, no, I would probably not choose to do that publicly here.
I think that may be what this is all about. Your right to privacy, the limits of your right to privacy, and how much you give away in modern America in the name of, quote, connecting people around the world.
So again, the thing that they don't seem to mention here is there's an end user agreement. We all clicked on it when we opted to use it either on the internet or through a smartphone app or Android or Apple, whatever the case may be. And really, when it comes right down to it, Americans shouldn't really have an expectation for a right to privacy from private businesses and private people. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't actually extend out, but what I'm saying is the references that they're using that say that we have those things, that's specifically referring to the government. That's something that people really don't understand. Now, I'm not saying that, because you can be charged under state, federal, and local statutes for peeking into people's windows. And you can be charged for all sorts of things because there are other laws besides the constitutional laws that are based on those things that have extended your right to privacy. But again, I have to ask you, when you don't take the 30 minutes you should be taking to read an end user agreement on a piece of software or an app before you click I have read and understand these things, and you start using the app, whose fault is it at that point if your privacy is violated? Is it the company's privacy or issue that your privacy's been violated? Or is it you for not understanding what it was that you clicked that said, I understand, I have read this, and I agree to the terms, and it won't even let you use it until you've clicked the box that says that you understand it? And again, I'm playing devil's advocate here because I'm no fan of Facebook. I'm no fan of Facebook or Twitter right now because they've all gone to the point where like Twitter right now, nobody's even talking about Twitter. Twitter has instituted this. I guess there's now like 9 billion words you can't say on Twitter. So they've made these new rules so people that don't like other people are going back through their timelines for tweets from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, back for, from like the dawn of Twitter that have like an offensive word and they're reporting them and then they're having to go in and delete the tweets. I've actually had friends that have been completely blocked because they had to delete too many tweets back before Twitter's rules changed. This is one of the things that I'm talking about. When rules change, they shouldn't necessarily be retroactive to where you can go back to a tweet from 5 years ago before the rules were what they are now and say, oh, this tweet now violates Twitter's terms of service. We should report these people. This is kind of what I'm talking about, though, because we've gotten to the point where we have this entire police state idea, and it's not even the government trying to do it anymore. It's us. We're censoring everyone. We're doing it. Facebook's not doing it. I mean, and this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for the last couple of days, but I haven't really had the chance to put together a show because everybody's talking about Diamond and Silk and how they've been removed from Facebook. Do you want to know how and why they probably got removed from Facebook? They probably got mass reported. I don't necessarily think that some of the censorship stuff that we're dealing with right now that everybody's up in arms about is actually from Facebook or from Twitter. I think what's happened as artificial intelligence and algorithms have gotten more and more involved in how programs are run and how things are done behind the scenes, I think they've started leaning too heavily on algorithms. Even though they supposedly have these 20,000 some odd employees that are part of their quality control team that make sure that things are up to their standards, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. How much you want to bet most of those guys are playing Candy Crush on their phones for 8 hours a day while they're sitting at work because there's a computer program that does it for them? And when people report, because that's what happens on Twitter, it's most of the time, it's not some diabolical leftist sitting there going, I'm going to get you this time, that's actually part of Twitter. It's some other person that doesn't agree with what you're saying that gets together, either a group of people or has access to a multiple set of accounts and actually starts doing what's called a mass report. Those are the things that we need to start dealing with, is the fact that we have a bunch of people now that don't actually understand what the First Amendment truly means. And I understand that Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of those things are private companies, and they have the ability to decide what they wish to have as content and what they do not wish to have as content. And I'm not trying to take that right away from them. But what I am trying to say is that if you're going to have what you yourself, Mr. Zuckerberg, tout as a creation that has connected the world, that has allowed people to not only connect with family members, loved ones, express ideas, build businesses. Hell, I know people that are making a living from Facebook. From Facebook. One of the shows that I produce, Sam Janney, the main host, she is actually a writer for Twitchy. She gets paid because Twitter exists. That's what Twitchy does. They pull tweets, and then they pull people's reactions to tweets, and they put out articles about them. It's fun. I'm jealous because she makes 6 figures a year to play on her computer. I'm not jealous because I'm jealous because I would love to do that. I'm not saying I'm like jealous, like, oh my God, I'm stabby. I'm just jealous because she's figured out a way to do something she loves and actually get paid for it. Enough that she can pay her bills. I mean, I make money doing this. Don't get me wrong. It's just this doesn't pay my bills. That's why I still have a day job. So, but it's just one of those things where, the only reason I've been as successful as I have been up until now is because, Facebook was a good platform at first. We were able to promote things. I still have some Facebook pages that we rarely use, some of which had really good followings, and occasionally I would still go back in there and post things. But at the same time, then when they started getting really, really heavily into censorship, I started spending more and more time on Twitter. I swear, it's like, and I said this before, when I changed career paths and I actually started working in like call centers and doing management work and grunt work and all the different things that happen at call center type things. The funny thing is, no matter where I go, eventually things turned into pretty much where it was at the like I originally started working at Convergys. Then I left Convergys. I went to Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines hired within 3 months the same consulting firm that basically ran Convergys into the ground. So then I leave Southwest Airlines to go where I'm at now, and no, I'm not telling you. And over time, it has again started to be run more and more like Convergys. Which, for those of you who don't know what Convergys is, because it's not nearly as well known as it used to be, they used to be one of the largest third-party call center companies in the world. They actually, when DirecTV first really became a thing, and they started leasing equipment, because, when DirecTV first came out, you paid for the equipment, and you paid for the installer to come out and put in the equipment, and then you bought your package, and you paid your monthly bill, and that was it. Well, so when DirecTV really started becoming this thing where they leased equipment, they did this, they did that, Convergys was the one that helped DirecTV put together call centers and actually get customer service work going and get their orders placed and help with equipment and troubleshooting and everything else. So Convergys was actually the very first ever DirecTV call center, and then eventually they opened some of their own, and then eventually DirecTV was bought by AT&T, and since then it's just... Sorry. Sorry, I used to work for them. They had a really great product once upon a time. It's not nearly what it was before. It's one of the reasons why we have Dish now. But anyway, not saying that because Dish is a sponsor or anything. I actually kind of like their product. But anyway, so I have talked enough. We've got to get one more break out of the way, and then we'll come back, wrap up the show for down to the last few minutes here. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. Back before you know it.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the street.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it.
All right, folks, welcome back. We've got just about enough time to hit on the last couple of topics I wanted to talk about. Next one coming up is Evan McMullen, or as I like to call him, Mr. McNuffin, who's back all over Twitter again. Apparently he's pretty upset with the fact that the president and even some of the people that up until now were advising the president not to fire Mueller and all the other gang of the crazy people. Apparently a lot of them are starting to change their mind after this most recent raid on his personal attorney. Now, I'm going to give you my take on that really quick because we don't have much time and there's really no need to kind of go over it more than just to kind of touch on it a bit. I honestly think what they're probably dealing with right now probably has more to do with something that Cohen has become involved in somehow. If it ties back to Trump, I'm not sure, but everybody that I keep seeing all over social media is like, well, if Trump has nothing to hide, why should he fire Mueller, do this and do that? Because at this point, I mean, come on, we've all seen it. It's happened before. It's probably happened to somebody that you know. If you start digging around enough and you can't find something, eventually somebody's going to make something up. I mean, we've all seen it happen. Have we not? I mean, maybe I'm the only one, but I've actually seen it happen. Now, as far as whether he should or not, I don't really know. But what I do know is everybody's like, well, like Evan McMullen, if you do that, we're going to chase you out of the White House. Great, do it. Then I get Pence, who I always kind of wanted to be president more anyway. I mean, this is the thing. They keep saying, well, if you do that, we're going to impeach you. I don't really think Donald Trump cares whether or not he gets impeached. I really don't. The thing that upsets me about all of this is if you look at everything that's going on right now, if we strip away all the BS and the drama and the hype and the hyperbole and the stupid attacks and the, oh my God, he's got orange hair and orange skin. Look at the country right now. Look at the numbers. Everybody was freaking out 2 weeks ago over the tariffs because, oh my God, we're going to be in a trade war with China. Guess what? China's coming back to the table. They're lifting restrictions on foreign cars. They're lifting restrictions on foreign ownership of businesses within China, all because somebody finally stood up and said, look, you've gotten us by the short hairs for the last 20 years. We're not doing that anymore. So either you're going to come back to the table or we're going to do this. And he didn't back down. Now, is it always going to work? I don't know, but I have to tell you, because this is the thing. Everybody that hates this man keeps telling me everything that he touches dies. And yet, every time I turn around, everything that they say is going to be the thing that kills us. A few weeks later, it's going our direction. And I think that's what has the globalists scared. Because, look, I'm not trying to sound like Alex Jones, and I'm not going to start telling you that fluoride makes frogs gay, but I am going to tell you that there is a group of people within this country and within the world that want a one-world government. They want this thing, and they have been doing everything they can behind the scenes to make it happen. Do you want to know why everyone, and I mean everyone, is angry with Donald Trump right now? It's because he's managing to put the brakes on that. Even if just for a little while. He's putting America first again, which isn't a dirty word. It isn't a nationalist thing. It isn't a racist thing. It isn't because we're a bunch of white privileged morons. It's because borders matter. Countries matter. Every other country in the world can put themselves first but us. Why is that not okay? For us to put ourselves first. Isn't that, I mean, think about this from a human perspective. When you go to a counselor and you're having issues with your relationship, one of the first things that they say is always find time to make sure that at least even if it's only every once in a while, that you put yourself first so that you can stay grounded and connected to yourself so that you can stay in the right frame of mind to actually be in a healthy, fruitful relationship. So what we're doing right now is we're not telling the rest of the world we don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. It's like, honey, right now, this is me time. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to shut the door. I'm going to make sure things are okay with me. And then once I've done that, we're going to come at this thing again. We're not saying we don't want to have anything to do with the rest of the world anymore. What we're saying is we're falling apart from the inside out. So somebody has to take the time to take care of us for a little bit, because if nobody takes care of us, when we're gone, who the hell is going to take care of you? That's what we should be telling these people that keep throwing all this hate in our face. This isn't anything about hating you. It isn't anything about hating where you come from. It isn't anything about hating the color of your skin. It is about the fact that we have been basically the goodwill for the world and taking care of everyone for decades now. We foot the bill for the UN, we foot the bill for this, we foot the bill for that, and we are falling apart from the inside out. Our roads are crumbling. We have vets living on the streets in boxes, but we're talking about taking care of people that have come into this country illegally, giving them the right to vote by giving them state-issued IDs, and I don't care what California tells you if they have a state-issued ID, unless it specifically says you can't use this to vote, they're not going to check that. And they're not going to spend the extra money to have something put on there that says you can't use this to vote, because then it becomes a hardship. They're fighting voter ID laws anyway. All right, so I've run long, so because of that, we're not going to take the last break of the show. At this point, we are pretty much out of time. And again, I don't know what the answers are. I don't know what the future may hold. But what I do know is that Mueller is out of control. I have felt that myself personally for quite some time. Saying that does not mean that I don't like the country and I don't want to find out what the truth is. I still want to know what the truth is, but I don't feel like Mueller is out to try to find the truth. I think Mueller is out to try to find anything that he can to destroy a sitting president of the United States. I would be just as concerned about this if this were a Democratic president and somebody was coming after him the way Mueller has been coming after him. Because we saw the things that Obama was doing, and we know the things that Obama did, but we couldn't get anybody to come after him. This president, near as I can tell, is doing nothing but trying to make things better. That's my own personal perspective. If you don't like it, then please feel free to turn it off. I don't get paid to sugarcoat things with you. I don't get paid to tell you you should go hug your mama more. I get paid to tell you my opinions about the news and the events of the day. So if you want to tune in and hear me give you my honest take on it, then I will do that 4 nights a week on this show, 2 nights a week on another show, 1 night a week on another show, and here coming up pretty quickly, I'll be doing it on a local show. So if you want to hear more of what I think, why I think it, and what I think is going on, then feel free to stay tuned in. If you don't like what I'm saying, there are plenty of other people that you can go find. I'm not asking you to basically stay here and hear things that you don't understand or that you don't want to believe. I'm not that type of person. But I am trying to say again that, just because we are suddenly deciding that we're going to take care of ourselves for a while and we're going to make sure that we're taken care of and that this country is getting the things that it needs to make sure that it can continue to survive, that doesn't make us evil people. That doesn't make us spiteful people. What it makes us is people that understand that we can't take care of anyone else if we're not taking care of ourselves. Alright, so that does it for this particular episode of America Off the Rails. I will be back with you tomorrow night for a double shot of Gin and Rick, back to back. First, of course, starting off with Gin and Rick, and then finishing off with America Off the Rails. Starting right here on KLRNradio.com, 10 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you tune in for both shows, if you wish. And if not, I guess, I'll see you guys when I see you. I know you guys don't like it some of you don't like it when I go positive on Trump, but I've been negative on Trump too, and I'm still not exactly sure where I sit on this whole, did he do something illegal or didn't he? But until there's actual proof, he's the president. And even if you have resist in your bio, he's your president too. Good night, folks.